Greetings internet and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. In this episode I'll be continuing my marine invasion of the island of Tarawa. It'll be turn 3. There are a couple of errors that I need to correct, one that I actually can't correct and one that I can correct before we start play. But in the meantime, if you can do all your YouTube stuff, the like, subscribe, etc. And let's go down to the map. Well, the first mistake I can't correct is what I did last time with an invasion unit, this unit here, which came out along this hex road here. Well, actually it didn't. I placed it originally in that position there. You can see the white there. I placed it in that position. It shifted once to the left there. Then I drew the card and it took lots of losses, and I took the counter off the map and then replaced it there, which meant it came in along that row, and technically it should have come along that row and ended up there. Well, it should have ended up, because it was inland too, it should have ended up there rather than there. But we're way beyond that now, so I can't correct it. The other issue is I should have removed all the disruption markers, because that's a free action at the end as the last sort of actions to do on my turn, which I didn't actually do. So I will do that now. That's the error I can correct. And also I should have removed these US action chits. I was so keen to get to talk to you guys, I forgot to actually do the basic principles, such as removing these things. Okay, so with those errors corrected, I mean, if there's any other errors, please let me know, but no one made any comments about either of one of those two things, especially that misplaced invasion, so maybe I can get away with a few other mistakes. I'll try not to, but these things do happen. Okay, there's not much landing this turn. We effectively have two HQs. We have Hall and Shoop, and he's coming in with that unit that didn't come in last time. So I have to allocate LVTs, and I did take a bit of pounding, so I've got two one-step LVTs bringing in that unit, and one step, as there's no unit, you still got to be brought in by an LVT. That's those ready to go. Next up, so assign the LVTs, conduct a landing check for each of those two hexes. So we've always got to start over here to the right. Oh, and if you can hear any noise in the background, the domestic stuff still needs to be done. That's the washing machine. But hey ho. Hopefully you can hear my dulcet tones over it. So, this unit here, now the HQ can't be eliminated. The main thing I'm looking at here is drift, and do I lose any more bloody LVTs? So that's the card. It says drift PR. There's no drift PR on this section. Drift PR only applies to the central, so there's no drift. And the LVT gets through okay. So again, doing the right, he's gone off. Let's bring the camera up. Oh, no, I can't remember which way I'm going. And he goes there, there, and he ends up on top of the engineers. And that LVT can be returned. Right, next two cards are for here. So the first off is the drift. Drift one to the left. Actual fact, he should have been, he has to be in one of these hexes, so that's the one I want. He actually drifts into where I want him to be. Next up is the critical one. All 4 steps get in. All LVTs are okay, and it goes inland too. But I think with the HQs, I have a choice there. Let me just double check. Okay, with HQs attached, I could actually ignore the drift at my option, and any inland is actually landing on the beach. But I'm quite happy with that drift, and you'll see why in a second. So they will come in along this extra line here. I will actually land there, which I'm actually quite happy about. So, yeah. With them landing safely ashore, I return the 2 LVTs, or 2 half LVTs, or 1-step LVTs back to the box. And that's the invasion, or the amphibious operations phase. There's nothing else to land. However, I do have to put on next turn. The next turn, we bring in some armour. So, let's put one there, because these can be targeted, by, as we know, by artillery. And we're going to put them on the central beach area. Actually, that's pretty exposed if it comes in, so we're quite happy with that there. Right, so only 4 cards actually drawn for that amphibious launching phase, and now that means I can bring this a little bit more forward, hello there, which then means I can move the actual whole board towards me, which then means I can reach over here. Yes. So let's put the cards back in the card display. Next thing we actually have to draw, this phase marker's in the wrong place, is the event phase. So we draw a card and see what it tells us. Right. Oh, take another naval fire marker. Remember, I didn't use the last one. I took 3 of these, so now I've got 2. That's useful. I was tempted to use last turn's one, but I decided not to, because I want to attack this hex here. And I thought, well, I didn't have this unit in place, and it needed a flanking requirement. Now that I have this, I can bring, and with the artillery support, because as you know, I don't know what. Hold on. That is. So hopefully, the artillery keeps me one in the bank. Next up, we have the Japanese fire phase, where I draw the fire card. Remember, you can ignore the letters. That star, though, means there's a potential leader loss, considering I've got now 2 HQs plus a hero in Ryan that we'll have to closely observe. But it requires a Japanese unit with a depth marker and or 2 in that position. So we start with the red and we work down the front. We then go on to the purple, work down the front, and then the blue. And we always start over here on the right, or my right. So we're looking at red positions. This is a red position here, that's the first one. Does it have any fire zones where there are American units? No, and if there was a disruption, we'd remove that as well, so no. Over here, there is a red, but I don't think any of my guys go in there, so no. Moving down the actual front here. Red positions here and here. All right, okay. So this is the first one who's in a red fire zone, and it's a steady. So in a steady fire zone, because there's steady and intense. In steady, we refer to the card, and the card is a diamond symbol, and that unit has a circle, so that unit's okay. If that had had a diamond, he would have taken his first loss there. Second loss. He's already one step down. Continue along the front. There's a red unit here. Okay, anyone in his fire zone? He's in a steady, and he has a diamond, so he is flipped. I'm also going to mark him just in case there's anything else that might potentially hurt him, because each unit can only take one step loss during any fire. So anything else with red doesn't look like it. Come off. Doesn't look like it. Carrying on down the front. Anything here with red? There's a red unit here. He's not in a red fire zone. He's in a steady zone. Oh man. Red unit here. This guy is in a red steady zone, and he has a diamond. So he is wiped out. Second one of my units completely wiped out in this area. This is not good. Okay. And any red further along the front there, well, there's no Americans. If there was a disrupted Japanese unit, he would become undisrupted, but there isn't. So now we go back to over here, and now we're looking at purple. So we have purple here, purple steady fire zone here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, show you what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this little dot here. It's a steady symbol. Remember, the tense one's a completely filled in dot. So with a steady, I look at the symbol on the counter. The symbol on the counter is a circle, and on the card it's a diamond, so he's okay. Again, if he'd had a diamond, he'd have taken a loss. So it's looking at that purple. Purple up here, no effect because there's none of my units up there. Moving along the front. Purple here. He is in a purple fire zone, but again, he's a circle, not a diamond, so he's okay. Moving along. Okay. Purple here, having no effect on my units. No effect, no effect. Right, we have a purple people eater here. And he's in an intense purple fire zone. So he will take a step loss. That's what happens when you sit in the open. I think he took a step loss last time. Okay, so that, just as an aside, let's show what's going on. Let me just zoom out a bit now. Over here, I've got what's called the US 2nd Marine Division infantry losses. So any 4-step units that I lose and get replaced by the 2-step counters, those counters go into here. I invaded with 12 full-strength units, 4-step. If I don't have any 4 or 3-step units on the map at any time, I lose automatically. It's called catastrophic losses. So I started with 12, I've got 4 already in there. Now, on turn 6, I get an additional, I think it's additional 8. Tanks, artillery, engineers don't count, it's purely the infantry. So I've got 12 that I started with, we've lost 4, so that means there's 8 still on the map. But if that ever gets, before turn 6, gets to 12, game over. As Hudson would say in the Alien movies, game over, man, game over. But we're not there yet. Back to that unit's taken a step loss. Now that unit's taken a step loss, I better mark it. From the purple. You have purple over here, but there's no purple extending into that. and that's the furthest west. Sorry, east. Remember, I'm on the northern side. I've got to remember that. I'm north, therefore east, west, and south. Okay, so that's the purple done. And we come back, and we're into the blue. Now, blue is double, so these two here are a blue position. Notice that's got an F1 in it, and this one here, F4. They've actually got a little, let me zoom in, but sometimes, okay, there's a little dot there, which links these two here. So these are a combined position. Now, there's definitely two here, so they could inflict a maximum of 3 losses. We have this guy with the triangle, who's in a steady fire zone. He's okay. This guy here, who's in a steady fire zone with a triangle, he's also okay. These guys here, there's no blue extending there, no blue there, and no blue here. So that completes, so they didn't actually inflict any step losses. Remembering if that had been an intense zone, the symbol wouldn't have mattered. Any other blue here? No, well, there's one right at the top of the map, but a little bit. Okay, so we move along the front. Now there is a blue symbol here, which is a Japanese tank unit, so that will remove the disruption on it. That's nice. Moving along the front a little bit. Here we go. All right, so this unit here, blue, has got 2 in it. Therefore, it's eligible to fire. Remembering it must have 2 symbols. And I did have the star, didn't I? Now, the star only comes in effect also if the unit in the hex. Now, let me just double check the rule. I was just about to blurb something that was like, I sort of invented. Right, to get it right, Japanese leader hits, that's always the star. For Japanese position fires with the leader bonus, 1 HQ or hero in the position's intense or steady field of fire may be hit, but only if the position's hit limit is not fulfilled by losses to other US units. Leaders are never disrupted. Okay, that's interesting, because going back on this position here did not take any hits off me, so that I believe means my actual HQ gets hit. I'm going to double check that, double. I don't want my HQ hit as soon as it arrives. Yep, just triple check the rules. Unfortunately, he's hit. So a hero HQ may be hit by Japanese fire during the Japanese fire phase if a fire card includes a Japanese position colour, which it has blue, with a star. A position of that colour may hit a leader in its field of fire, which it is. Yeah, that's blue. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, God blimey. Phew, there's no blue in there. I was worrying for nothing. Well, I just remembered the star and I thought, oh, there's blue down here. Okay, so I wasn't trying to kill you all, honestly. Sorry, come back. Yeah, no, I've got nothing personal against you. I'm not painting blue circles on my board. Whew, man. Right, back here. Okay, so this has also got two steps in it, and this is a steady, so he's okay because he's got a circle. This HQ, Remember, this needs to inflict 2 losses. If it inflicts 2 losses, the HQ is alright. But he's a triangle in the steady, so he's okay. He's already taken a step loss from the red, so the hero here, sorry, the HQ here, does take a hit. So it loses its hero aspect, but it still has got his HQ aspect, and they don't become disrupted. Okay, so yeah, I was wishing on the other side, but this side, this guy here, yeah, Shoop. Hall's okay, Shoop isn't. Okay, moving further along. There is a single unit here, so he doesn't fire, because remember it's a double targeting, and that's it. So yeah, the HQ gets hit. That's my card. So we did the red. So these letters, remember, come in effect when these markers here become revealed, and a HQ of mine has taken a hit. And that was the Japanese fire card completed. Next up, we look at the sequence. So we've done the fire. There was no artillery on that card, which is useful. This event card only comes in from turn 10 onwards. Sorry, turn 11 onwards. We skip this step as well, so we're into, finally, my action phase. This is where I get me 3 actions, potentially 2 naval because they're free, and now my HQs are giving me 3 actions as well. Okay, so let's, well, my area of main concern, and the first place I want to get something going is here. Okay, now the HQ will activate that unit and those units for free. Ryan will also activate that unit free. So these are all free actions that I'm showing. However, this unit and this unit will have to be activated. Also, the HQ activation free unit is where it currently is. I can't sort of move him along to there and then say, haha, he's got a free action. No, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work that way. All right. Also, you've got to remember there's quite a few Japanese units out of communication. So this is the unit I want to attack. We actually have zones of not control, but those hexes, and also where where my guys are under US control. The Japanese cannot trace communication through the beach, and they can't trace communication through one of my units or a hex I control. So at the present moment, these 2 units are out of communication, therefore they cannot receive any depth. So it might be worth me taking out those as soon as possible. This unit here, again, I've got a unit here which controls that, and he can't trace through beach either. And because of this, he can't trace it, so he's out of communication. Now, he does have depth already. Gammy little git. But I'm going to be attacking him with this unit and this unit, because he does require an FL, which stands for flanking. And flanking is achieved as long as you have units not adjacent to each other attacking it. So if these 2 units were here, I wouldn't have the flanking bonus. But because he's over here and those 2 units aren't adjacent, I do. Okay, so that is going to be my first attack, but that will require 2 of my US actions. Now the question is, do I need naval support? So I've got so far attacking 6 and 7 is 13 to 2. It all depends on how much that coastal depth will give it, because 13 to 2 is 6 to 1, which is more than the 2 to 1 I require to look at that depth marker. Now, what do I mean by look at the depth marker? Okay, so I'm going to bring up the US attack results chart. Oops, and knock the camera. Great at doing that, as you know. All right, so we're looking on here. So it tells me US attacks possess weapons required. Currently, weapons required a bazooka. Got that, because all full-strength American infantry units have a bazooka. And the flanking, as we've already discussed, I have, because I've got the 2 units. So the question, US attacker possesses weapons? Yes. Then we compare US attack strength compared to Japanese defense strength, and its attack strength at least double. Now that unit, Japanese unit, if I was purely attacking across that seawall, would be doubled, but I'm not, because I've got this unit here, which I've now taken the camera away, boom. This unit here is attacking through behind the seawall, as it were. So he's not double, so he stays at 2. So again, bring this up. So we're on this chart here, attack strength at least double. And yes. So we then move along. Now, Japanese has unit and unrevealed depth marker. We're in this column. Reveal the depth marker, compare again, and consult the column to the right. This area here. So it's telling me if I still stay in this area, because it's double, depth marker eliminated and unit disrupted. Or turns 1 to 10, depth marker eliminated and unit disrupted. Turns 11 to 13, depth marker eliminated and unit defeated. Depth marker eliminated unit, which one do I compare here? I look at this one here. Reveal the depth marker, compare again, and consult the column to the right. It's got a little 1 there. The depth marker calls for tactical reinforcements, remove the marker. So I'm looking here. So I can't eliminate it in one go. So there's no point, unless that depth marker is massive, throwing in the naval support. So I won't. But it does take up 2 of my US actions. Okay, so we know the result is I need to flip this and then look at that chart again. Keep that there to remind me whether I know where the combo is. Okay, it's adding 1 more strength to 3, so I still have the odds, but it's got another FL, another flanking. Does that mean I need flanking twice? Let's have a look. So I revealed it and then I haven't shown it here. So that's it. It's added another strength point, and it's got flanking FL12. I think that means I need another unit there, but that one can be adjacent to them. So going back to that chart, the answer now is US attacker possesses weapons required. The answer is no. I am still doubled, and Japanese unit and revealed, Japanese disrupted, and optional attrition. Optional attrition. You may at your option remove a step from an adjacent attacking US unit of your choice and eliminate the Japanese depth marker. That's interesting. Do I want to? So in other words, I really push my guys in. And the answer to that question is, well, I just need to get another guy there for next turn. I'd rather not take losses. The Japanese position is disrupted, so I'm going to leave it as such. I'm not pushing my guys in. I don't want to take any losses. We know what's there. They can't get another depth marker in there. Yes, it takes that little bit longer, but we know he won't be able to fire from that position because he's disrupted. When it comes to him firing again in the next turn, that will just remove the disruption marker. So he's not going to fire. Well, that's 2 of my actions done. Now, I know that I need to get another hit unit here for flanking. And as this is free, and it's the HQ means that I can use them as doing different things, I will send it. Bet if I want, use them to do different things. I mean, just off the cuff like that. Okay, when you activate a hex using US actions, they have to do exactly the same thing, otherwise it's a different action for each unit. Being activated by the HQ means that they can do different things. So I'm going to send 1 engineer over to here to provide that flanking bonus for next turn. Because we know that Japanese unit requires 2 lots of flanking. Okay, now we can, with Ryan here, he can attack for free. There's a hero there. So I'm going to attack, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, I don't like that. I prefer meanie. We're going to go for meanie. We're going to attack this unit here. Current strength of -7. This guy's not in any fortifications or doubled. I don't think the... Yeah, if I was doing range fire, the palm trees won't affect. Oh, there's the neighbour in the car going, if you can hear it. So that's the attack. That's a free attack, and I turn this Japanese unit over. Darn it. He's got a combat CC requirement. In other words, well, let's go through and okay, so US attacker possesses required weapons. No, because I need close combat. Am I at least doubled? 7 to 2, yes. So attack strength at least doubled. Japanese unit alone. He is alone. He is disrupted. So I know he's not firing, but that lets me know I've actually got to go in there with fisticuffs to try and take him out. But he was not going to be receiving any reinforcements because of that. So that's Ryan done. Pause for a moment. Heroes. They allow... Wow. What? Hold on. Rewind. Heroes negate one of the requirements, but I'm not sure if they can negate close combat or flanking. Let me double check. Bring it back. Yeah. Heroes can negate any other requirements other than flanking and close combat. So he is disrupted and his turn is done. We're going to bring that. If I move this guy, that will be my last US action, so I don't really want to do that. Any other movement I want to do here? Right, so I'm going to move that into that position there to take control of it. I know engineers on the beach are pretty good once we get into turn 10 and beyond. But I am going to bring this unit. Oh, it's an intensive fire zone. If he fires, do I really want to move into an intensive fire zone? He's disrupted, he's not. I think we're going to bring the HQ up. He's still in intensive, so we'll bring him to here. We know this guy's not going to be able to fire, so bringing him there is fairly safe. In actual fact, we can bring him here. Keep them both together, because we know Brown's not going to fire before I get to attack again. So I think that's everything I want to do in this section. I'd like to move him, but I've only got one US action left. So let's have a look at elsewhere and see what I want to do. Okay, so I want to remove these markers off because these are the units. Now, actual fact, he was fired at by the red, which is an unrevealed unit, so that US unit is actually disrupted. So I should mark him. That means he can't do nothing other than remove the disruption. So, and this guy here, he was hit by the purple, which is also unrevealed, so he is also disrupted. That's one of the reasons why I left the green markers on, to remind me. Okay. I really want to take out this position here. The HQ is active, and the unit with him. This unit's adjacent to the HQ, so he's active. This unit here is not adjacent to the HQ, but so that he could be my last unit if I go in with this unit and this unit, which is probably, no, probably, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to activate this unit here as my last action. So we've got flanking if required. Now, can he receive depth? Yes, I'm asking you guys, can he receive depth? The answer is no, because this unit here projects control into that hex. This unit here projects control into that hex. And it can't get via the beach. So anyone who answered no, well done. Anyone who answered yes, go back to the previous episode. Do not pass go, do not collect £200. Anywho, so no, he can't receive any depth, which is good, so that's why we're taking him out. Do I need to use any naval gunfire on that? I don't think so. If he does require naval gunfire, then he might have to wait for another turn. So that's the declared attack. So I've got an attack of 7 plus 5 is 12. He's in a building. Unit strength doubled, depth is not. So this guy's strength will be doubled, and he's got a strength of 2, which becomes 4. He's got a requirement of mortar and machine guns. We have a full strength US unit in that hex there, and they possess, I'm just going to double check, but I'm sure it's pretty much everything apart from flamethrowers. So they've got bazookas, machine guns, Brownings, mortars, so we've got everything required. So going back on that chart, US attackers possess required weapons, yes. Attack strength at least doubled, well he's got 4 but we have 12, yes. Japanese unit alone, yes. The Japanese unit is defeated. And he's red, so he's an elite. Where does he go? Now this is important. Can he withdraw? The answer is no. So I believe that means he's eliminated, but let's double check. So rule 8.33, Japanese withdrawal. When a US unit defeats an elite Japanese unit, which that is because it's got the red background, on turns 1 to 16, the unit withdraws instead of being eliminated if it can trace Japanese communications at the moment of attack, which it can't. So it can't withdraw. And it says place defeated units not eligible to withdraw in the Japanese eliminated unit box on 1 to 16. So because he can't withdraw, and this is one thing I was definitely doing wrong in my previous games of this, or let's just, I wouldn't say definitely doing wrong, but definitely not double checking and understanding the implications of communication until quite late in the game. So that unit, in my prior games, I would have put in the Japanese reserve. So yeah, he goes back. But he doesn't. He will now get the Japanese eliminated, which definitely helps the cause. Now, I can't advance after combat into there, and there might be an event that brings some more Japanese into there, via tunneling and that kind of stuff, but yeah. So that's my last US action taken. Now, this HQ has activated this unit, but he can also activate the unit he's stacked with, which is a full strength US unit. Is there anything I really want to do with that? He can see whatever can target him, so he can only see blue. So you can see this unit, but I can't bring this unit into the combat. Does that mean I can't attack? I could barrage that, because I don't like that, because I'm quite exposed there. Does that mean I can't attack? I know to attack I must have a US unit adjacent, but does that adjacent unit need to be involved in the attack? No, it must include at least one unit that is adjacent, so I can't attack this unit from there. Doesn't mean I can't barrage it with my naval units. So I must admit, I find barrage not very effective, but it could disrupt them. Ah, that's a good point. US barrage table, because that's a bit more pokey than naval. Okay, let's have a look. Naval barrage is different from unit barrage. I haven't got anything on the board that you can unit barrage at the moment. That's when my tanks arrive. But the naval barrage, you may expend a naval fire marker to conduct a naval artillery barrage against any Japanese coastal position, revealed or unrevealed, or any revealed inland position on the map, as long as at least one disrupted I'll get there, undisrupted US infantry unit with a radio or in command of an HQ is in the target field of fire. Okay, so this unit here is in blue. It has a HQ. It can bring down artillery fire on naval fire on there. A naval barrage is considered a free action and may be performed at the time during the US action phase. However, a single Japanese occupied hex may not be subject to a naval barrage and an attack on the same, so I can only do it once. You may use a naval fire marker in the turn you receive it, or I may save it as I have done. What is the effect? If these requirements are met, the Japanese occupied hex is barraged. Place a disrupt marker on the unit which straight away. That's good. If a depth marker is in the hex, remove it from play. Hey, that's good as well. Japanese units are not eliminated by naval barrage. Okay, the key thing is the disruption, because I've got quite a lot of people in his field of fire. So we will bring some naval gunfire on that position. So that is discarded, it's gone. Still got one in reserve, don't know if we're going to use that. So it's definitely disrupted that hex. And that depth marker is removed from play. It doesn't go into any of the boxes, it's gone. I'm not even going to look at it. Cannot eliminate the unit, but we can disrupt it, which stops its fire. And that coastal depth is gone. Do not come back. Thank you very much. Okay, do I want to do that anywhere else? Not at the moment. I like to keep that in reserve. So that's going to go in the reserve in my chart there. Which still means, right, this unit's now attacked, so he's done. these units are attacked. My HQ hasn't moved yet, and neither is that unit, so I'm going to bring them up. Intensify the zone there. It's brown. Whereas that's got brown steady, and it's only got one step in it. Okay. I want to keep this adjacent to the HQ, so maybe the HQ won't move, but the unit will. He's not going to get a activation, is he? Okay. I believe that's everything I want to do. So I can now remove disrupted markers from my units, because that's a free action. There's 1, 2, any more, and remove the US action markers. Okay. Any more disrupted that I can see? No. Right. I'm going to remove these markers here as well. They're mainly there to help during my action phase. And come on, have I forgotten something? Usually do at this point. I can't see anything, but if you guys can, let me know in the comments, and let's bring this back up. Okay, so I'm making progress, slowly but surely, with the 2 HQs brought on, disrupting units. Getting those 2 lots of naval gunfire is useful. So now I've still got one in the bank, and eliminating depth straight out like that one. Yeah, I'm sort of just quickly tidying up as we hacking. I hope you've enjoyed it, because I'm enjoying it, and I'm saying that communication, cutting off their communication really helps. I just say in the very first game I played, I got wiped out anyway. Second game, I got close to victory, but I forgot about the communications early in the game. I don't say forgot, I hadn't really grasped how that actually worked. The way Japanese communication works is that each position must be able to trace a line of communication, either not going through an American unit or American controlled hex, or along the beach. Now, an American controlled hex which has a Japanese unit does allow communication through it, but yeah, cutting off that, and it's got to be, that line of communication has got to go back to 2 other positions. The way I've cut them off, they haven't had that, which means they can't take depth, they can't withdraw, which all helps attrit the Japanese a little bit quicker. That's it. I hope, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. Any comments, much appreciated. Do all the other YouTube stuff, the like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. But until next time, have fun, play games, and if you haven't got this one, try and get it, because it is fantastic. Bye, internet.